Greetings, viewers! Night here, bringing you some of my Foxy thoughts. So I had a bit of a revelation after my last review, and it's that I'm becoming a Pokemon channel. My god, Doodletones was right. All commentary channels are really closeted Poketubers. I mean, seriously. I've made so many Pokemon videos that I made a playlist for all of them, and you should really check them out. Not the first one, though. It's absolute garbage. So there have been quite a few videos talking about base sprites from Gen 4 and supposed leaks out of the Gen 4 remake games. This video won't be one of them, however. No, I'm talking about something completely different today. Being entirely honest, one of the main reasons I've played Pokemon games for so long, aside from the new Pokemon of course, has been for the excitement of battling the new evil teams. Team Galactic was one of the more seriously evil organizations, even if the grunts did fall into that trope of oblivious expendable henchmen who didn't really understand their master's end goal and were simply following orders. The Diamond and Pearl season of the anime certainly did the group better justice than they did with Team Aqua and Team Magma in Gen 3, where they just sort of substituted two groups with misguided goals with seeking to rule the world with ancient Pokemon.
Of course!
I would get mad at this, but then I'm the same guy who tortured his friends with Uganda Knuckles for 2 years. No, Team Galactic's goal in the anime was the exact same as it was in the games. Capture the powers of time and space, and use them to create a world that their master sire esteemed worthy of him, whilst destroying the current world in the process. It was probably the most faithful adaptation the anime had done for a group of antagonists yet, and would be followed by making Team Flare a far more dangerous threat than they were in the games, because they wanted to commit mass genocide due to being disillusioned with the world, and pretty spot on with Team Skull just being a bunch of punks. Whenever I go up against a team, insert team name here, Grunt, I always look forward to seeing what kind of Pokemon they'll be using. Honestly, one of my only complaints about Oras was that Team Aqua and Team Magma used the exact same Pokemon as in the first games. Now, I do understand that the games were rewritten to work in Mega Evolution, but come on. You really couldn't have taken a cue from the anime and given Matt or Shelly a Crawdaunt, or even given any of the grunts, Corfish or Wingull. Then there's the fact that Team Magma should have had Slugma and Macargo, since those are Pokemon that go along with their theme. Now, I want you guys to take a look at Team Galactic. Their uniforms are designed to resemble spacesuits, and their team name has a very spatial feel, but what kind of Pokemon do you think they use? Stunky, Glameow, Croagunk, Bronzor, the Wurmple line, and Zubat. They also used Houndour and Murkrow later on, but aside from maybe Bronzor, none of those Pokemon really scream outer space, do they? Now you could justify Team Rocket using a lot of poison and normal type Pokemon, since they were the first evil team. They really didn't have a theme going on other than being crooks. While claiming to be stylish, Team Flare used Pokemon that were in an ironic contrast to the image they wanted to put out there. Now, when I wrote the script, I thought Team Skull didn't use Houndour, but it turns out Notice and Ultra Moon they do. However, I'm still kind of disappointed they also didn't use Cubone or Loaded Marowak, since that would kind of go along with their theme of being outcasts. Team Galactic have a science fiction feel to them, but again, Bronzor is the only Pokemon that sort of goes along with it. Magnemite can be found in Sinnoh, but not even the Team Galactic scientists use any. Instead, they all use Kadabra. What? Come on. Beldum can be found in Sinnoh too. And we finally reached the subject of my video. What kind of Pokemon could Team Galactic use in the Gen 4 remakes? Now, the obvious criteria for Pokemon used by Team Galactic would be for them to have a science fiction feel, whether they look alien or futuristic, or a connection to outer space. Team Galactic scientists could use the Magnemite and Beldum lines. And maybe Porygon? Since in Platinum, one does use a Porygon too. If by some chance the player gets to battle Head Scientist Charon this time, I can see him using a team of Porygon Z and Mamazone or Metagross, and all three of those Pokemon can be dangerous in battle. The Grunts can keep Bronzor, since like I said it does sort of fit their theme. But the Pokemon I feel would be easiest to pair them with would be Staryu, since there are Pokedex entries that speculate their cores glow at night to communicate with life beyond the stars, and Staryu are fairly common water Pokemon. They could also use Solrock and Lunatone, considering these powerful Psychic-type Pokemon that literally resemble the sun and the moon can be found on Mount Coronet, where Team Galactic intend to enact their plan to create a new world. Likewise, the Clefairy can be found on Mount Coronet, and it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to assume that Team Galactic had captured a few Clefairy and Cleffa. There are Pokedex entries that say Clefairy has a special connection to the moon, and there are at least 2 episodes of the anime where a group of Clefairy are either from or trying to go to space. And the fact that fairy types now exist, and Team Galactic could have some rather dangerous Pokemon to battle with. But now we come to the Pokemon that are harder to justify for them to use, since they came after Gen 4. Could Team Galactic use Elgin and Beacon in the remakes? These psychic types greatly resemble aliens, and are based on Roswell, New Mexico in America. Well, we have the science fiction theme right there, don't we? But how could they be fit into a Gen 4 remake game? Well, maybe they could be found as rare Pokemon on Mount Coronet, since the mountain is a very out-of-the-way place, and it's an old science fiction trope of aliens wanting to avoid contact with Earthlings. Final Pokemon for the Grunts would be Minior. These Pokemon hang around in the atmosphere and fall to Earth. Normally this just happens in Alola, but who's to say it's going to stay that way in future games? Mount Coronet is one place these little guys could fall, but there's also a spot in Veilstone City where you come across fallen meteorites, and there's an episode of the anime where Team Galactic try to steal the meteors, and since Team Galactic's base is in Veilstone City in the games and anime, it could be possible that Team Galactic encountered and captured some of these rare Pokemon. Maybe? The elementary of Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter. They'll have Bronzor, and I'm gonna make an exception here, and let them keep their signature Pokemon, Toxicroak, Skuntank, and Perugly. Really, the only changes I would make is for them to have either Starmie, Solrock, or Lunatone, or maybe a Clefable to replace their Golbats. Cyrus, the boss and would-be god of a new world. Given he thinks emotions are a weakness, I think you could have more robotic Pokemon that would serve as a replacement for his Crobat and Gyarados. And that's only if you can't just find Crobat flying around the overworld this time, and if the developers really are going to bring back Mega Evolution. Like with Team Galactic's Head Scientist, these Pokemon would of course be Mamazone and Metagross. Now it could be argued that Cyrus's Golbat became a Crobat because it was devoted to its master. And if Cyrus is going to be given a Metagross in the remake, and if the developers really are going to bring back Mega Evolution, they could possibly use the whole devotion thing to justify giving Cyrus a Mega Pokemon for the final battle against him. Now, I'm not saying the developers have to give Team Galactic these Pokemon or make these changes. This is just me throwing out ideas and having a bit of fun. But what do you guys think? Do any of the Pokemon I mentioned feel like they would be a fit for Team Galactic? This is Night saying thanks for letting me share my thoughts. Please share yours with me.